One follows tonight's FA Cup action on Match of the Day.
Good evening. There was a moment when we had more third-round FA Cup replays tonight than there have been favourites to take the Newcastle manager's job. But a couple of postponements has taken care of that. Still, 5 games managed to survive the weather. Action from all of them coming up. It's been a third round that has thrown up a number of surprises already.
Oh, he scored! Gary McDonald! And Everton will be the biggest scalp on this third-round day. Scoring! Just what the FA Cup is all about. It's 4 for Coventry. It's round 4 for Coventry. An emphatic finish. It was a terrific strike. But it's still there. It could have turned this season.
No surprises in the studio. Alan Hansen joins us. We start at Anfield, where Liverpool faced a Luton side 62 places below them in the league pyramid. The commentator was Steve Wilson.
This replay has almost been an afterthought among the headlines. Within the last hour and a half, Luton's administrators have accepted a takeover bid which may see off bankruptcy. Liverpool's crisis comes with a loose tongue and an American accent and may see off Benitez. The guard of honour is for Jamie Carragher, Liverpool's captain today, for his 500th appearance for the club, with his son James, who wears a Fernando Torres shirt. He knows what side the bread is buttered. Looks like Liverpool mean business tonight. Steven Gerrard and Torres both start. New signing Martin Skrtel is ineligible. For Luton, Chris Coyne and Dave Edwards have been sold since the first game. Kevin Blackwell has also announced his intention to resign next month. 14 years after leaving the club, Don Hutchison returns to Anfield and fills in as an emergency centre-half. Keeper Dean Brill plays despite a thigh problem. Free kick is given, the foul by Alan Goodall. Jackson across covering Pennant, who has Arbeloa on an overlap. Looking for Crouch. Might have done better without Peter Crouch. He was well found by Pennant. Just a high chip ball in by Pennant. Crouch may be caught in two minds as to whether to go for goal or whether he thought Torres would be attacking the 6-yard box. Given away. Robinson gave it straight to Alonso, and here's Gerrard. And Babel on the left, and Torres is in the middle. Babel goes for it, hits the post. This is a really good effort by Ryan Babel. Happy to come inside onto his right foot. Just the foot of Brill's post. Denied Liverpool what they were looking for, which would have been a lead inside the first 10 minutes. Pennant inside Spring. Alonso, lovely ball. Torres goal side. It's a lovely ball into Fernando Torres, who got goal side of Alan Goodall. And for a player with 16 goals from 20 starts, it's a really wayward finish. They've really been through the mill this past 12 months, and they've travelled to Anfield in force. Risa now for Liverpool. Oh, and it's found its way to Crouch. Now Babel! But there's Crouch again. Look at the space he had inside the penalty area, and yet his first instinct seems to be to try and lay it off to Babel. Benitez's face says everything you need to know. Don Hutchison, I think, is saying 1 minute, and he's absolutely right. It was very reminiscent of Steve McMahon a minute before the end of the 1989 season, and just before Michael Thomas scored here. And here's Torres, and Babel's off on the right-hand side for the first time. Fernando Torres feeds Ryan Babel. Babel with a shot, and Liverpool have the lead in stoppage time at the end of the first half. And Ryan Babel, who has been the man most likely, has given them the lead. 1 minute was enough. Luton are undone right at the end of the half. Ryan Babel's 7th goal of the season. First time he switched flanks, found by Torres, and it's a good finish which gave Brill not a prayer. And Liverpool might be spared a half-time Benitez ticking off. No half-time substitutions from either manager. What a curious kick-off from Xabi Alonso. Well, he scored, of course, from inside his own half in that thrilling game at Kenilworth Road. And can Pundit whip this in? Crouch is at the back post. Back into the danger area, and Gerrard makes it 2. It was a high flighted cross from Pennant. Crouch did well with it on this occasion, and Gerrard was happy to put his head in where boots might fly, and he's got his reward. And the reward is a 13th goal of the season. 12 in his last 17 games now for Liverpool. And it's 2-0. Oh, and the mistake is going to be cleared by Keane, who made the mistake, and Crouch has collided with the post, having very nearly chased it into the back of the net. But this was nearly a blot on his CV. Boy, he chased that, and still nearly played it into Crouch, who then smashed into the post and nearly demolished the goal. Crouch, ouch. Now Huppier. That's dangerous. Torres at the back post, brought it down beautifully, and gets a corner. There's just a moment here when Torres might have thought twice about trying to rattle this volley into the roof of the net, because Don Hutchison was coming out with studs raised. Sami Hyypiä, right across goal, off the post, and it's in this time. Sami Hyypiä makes it 3. He's getting the congratulations. I just wonder if he did get the final touch. I think it's come off Luton's captain, Matthew Spring. Risa, Torres. It's going to come to Gerrard, and he has a second, and Liverpool have a fourth. Torres involved, drew 2 defenders, and it flicked up into the space. And Steven Gerrard simply side foots home his 14th goal of the season. To go. 4 up Liverpool. Here's Risa. Gerrard, who's got 2 of the 4. Oh, and he's got a hat-trick. He's got 3 of the 5. Completely wrong-footed Dean Brill in the Luton goal. Look at the movement on this from Gerrard. There's no deflection here, it's just movement. Steven Gerrard's hat-trick, Liverpool's 5th. Pennant, Arbeloa, Dirk Kuyt, Babel, and he's found Kuyt, and here's a chance, good save by Brill to frustrate Dirk Kuyt. On the verge of bankruptcy, things may be looking up for them with the consortium having a takeover bid accepted today by the administrator. Liverpool are through to the 4th round of the FA Cup. Jamie Carragher's 500th game for the club, but wouldn't you know, his big night. Steven Gerrard takes the headlines with a hat-trick. They've beaten Luton in the 3rd round replay by 5-0 at Anfield.
Jamie, 500 games, that's quite an achievement, really.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it takes a while to get to that figure, but you wouldn't have thought I'd got there maybe 10, 11 years ago, but it's happened now, and hopefully, as I said, I can, go and get a few more.
Your big night, and your old mate goes and scores 3 goals and deflects all the attention away from you.
No, that's not a problem at all. The main thing is to get through, and as I said, he does that anyway. He's obviously the best player at the club, and for me, he's the best player England have got, and I'd probably say he's the best 5 or 6 players in the world.
For 45 minutes, you were on level terms with them. I mean, under the cosh at times, but holding them.
Well, we had a go. Obviously we're not as talented as them boys, but we gave everything we had, and for 44 minutes, like you said, we were in the game, but obviously a lack of concentration cost us.
You heard very shortly before kick-off that this consortium led by Nick Owen had a takeover bid accepted by the administrators. Does that make any difference to your position at the club, Kevin, or is it too early to say?
I mean, right now, I just want to go with the players and we'll sit down and we'll have a long chat about where we're going as a football club, and we'll see what happens. But, my hope is that the people that buy the football club make the right decision, and with my blessing they move forward.
How do you feel, Rafa, when you've won La Liga, you've won the UEFA Cup, you've won the Champions League, you've won the FA Cup, and yet your job is being offered to someone who's never managed a football club, in a league club, a club who's only managed a country?
I'm thinking about to win the FA Cup this year, so I was really concentrating to win this game. Anything else?
You must have felt upset, you must have felt angry, hurt, though?
No, in this moment I am really pleased because Gerrard scored 3 goals, Carra 500 games, the team scored 5 goals, and I think it was a good game.
You're very good at this, Rafa, but I mean, clearly everybody's talking about Jurgen Klinsmann and what that means for you. Have you really seriously given it no thought at all?
I'm really seriously enjoying today because we play a very good game. And I know that you must ask, but I don't want to talk about this. I want to talk about the game.
I don't think he was ever going to talk about that, was he? We'll come to that in a moment. As for the game itself, well, once Liverpool scored the opener, the floodgates were always likely to open.
Luton did really well for 44 minutes. Liverpool got the first game, and then it was never in doubt. Gerrard hat-trick. But for Luton, did well over the 2 matches, and then I suppose a financial lifeline for them. Well,
survival was the key for them.
Exactly,
anyway.
for them. Yeah,
so you've been going on babbling on, shall we say, about Babel for a while. Gives Liverpool an extra threat, you feel?
Well, I just think that for a long time they relied on Gerrard final third of the pitch. Now they've got Gerrard and Torres. But if you look at Manchester United, they're successful because they've got 5 or 6 that can give you that little bit extra, the final third of the pitch. If you look at the people that Benitez brought in, they're all good in certain ways, but as I say, the final third of the pitch, the one that's going to give you, for me, the most threat is Babel. Yeah. He's got the strength, he's got the ability, and basically he's got the pace. He came on against Middlesbrough on Saturday, substitute half-time, changed the game. This is what he can give you. Just one touch, round the corner, and a great hit. So unlucky not to score. Going forward, he just attacks people, goes at defenders, can go left side, right side, and another good hit and very close. Tonight, he obviously scored the goal in the 44th minute, but he was always a threat. A lot of pace to go left there, picks it up, comes inside, desperate and lucky not to score. The second half, just absolutely brilliant it was. He picks up here, he sees things early, that's a great pass to Risa, and it should have done better. And again, when he picks it up here, he's going at people. He goes past the first defender, has a quick look there, just so you would see where the next defender is. Then it's give, go, get it back, good touch, in the box, could have scored, and then finally picks up again, similar position, and just plays a little weighted pass to Cout, who should have scored.
So why is he not a regular?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I go back to the game we saw him decimate Derby, and we're thinking, well, what a great future. Maybe it's because he's young, and Benitez wants to, like, just wrap him in cotton wool and not play him much, but I think he deserves a run on the side now, that's for sure.
You mentioned Benitez there. He clearly didn't want to talk about his situation. How do you feel about it? Where do you stand?
Well, it just puts extra pressure on the manager. He's under pressure at the minute. One of the co-owners coming out and saying that he spoke to Klinsmann. Why they spoke to Klinsmann in the first place, I don't know, but to give the story out, whether or not, you know, they maybe think that the story was going to come up for another source, and so they've got in first. But to talk to Klinsmann when the manager was under pressure, players are not interested in the credit crunch in the new stadium. Yeah. But they're interested, right, when the manager's under pressure, because that affects him. This manager is under real pressure. Everybody knows that Liverpool are desperate to win the Premiership. They're a long way back in the Premiership. A lot of people say they can't win it, right? The only way he can now get out of trouble is by going and winning 10 games in the trot, because the minute he gets a defeat, or say he goes out the Champions League, what sort of position has he got?
It's a very similar situation that we saw Martin Jol in at the start of the season. It was almost untenable.
Well, it was identical. And we said at the time the only way he can stay in that position as manager at Tottenham is by winning and winning. He got off to a terrible start and he went. Now, if Benitez was suddenly to lose another couple of games in the Premiership, or he goes out in the Champions League, it looks as though he might go.
So what should Liverpool do now as a club?
Well, what they should do is close ranks, which they have always done over these. When they were winning everything in sight, this would never have come out. But they would close ranks, they'd go get right behind the manager, the owners, the players and the supporters, and say, this is the only way forward for us.
And Benitez, the right man for the job for you?
Of course he is. Of course he is.
Okay.
He's done a good job without being outstanding.
Okay. Before we bring you the 4 remaining ties of the third round of the FA Cup, sponsored by E.ON, let me point you in the direction of our live tie tomorrow. It's Manchester City versus West Ham. Join us on BBC One at 8 o'clock. Back to this evening's action and a third-round replay that promised goals. In the last 2 meetings, both in the last couple of weeks, Reading and Spurs have conjured up 14 between them. Dan O'Hagan, watch this one.
Familiarity breeds goals. Spurs and Reading have shared 14 in 2 meetings. Reading hand a full debut to Alex Pearce at centre-half. Spurs to Chris Gunter. No Berbatov, he's out with a cold. Jermaine Defoe. Khalifa Cisse, big, tall player, into the feet of Shane Long, turned away by Kabul. Here's Genus, and here's Leroy Lita. There's no flag here. Leroy Lita, and Cherney got anything on the ball, but there's a handball given here, I think. It's going to be a yellow card for Leroy Lita. On first viewing, perhaps handball, but on second viewing, maybe simulation. Diving was the reason. Kevin Prince Boateng, nice turn. Boateng still, lovely ball. It's Jermaine Genus, held up by Khalifa Cisse. Back to Mel Bronk, and Defoe was arriving. Alex Pearce was there, the youngster, to nod the ball away. Genus delivers. And the header strikes the crossbar, and it's flicked in. And Robbie Keane moves on to 99 goals for Tottenham Hotspur. And in this cup tie, it is they who draw first blood. Keane's goal, Spurs lead, 1-0 Tottenham. Well, Spurs draw first blood in this FA Cup third round replay. Juan de Ramos' side take the lead. Jermaine Genus. Boateng with Shorey, just checks back to Shimbonda. Boateng, can he deliver a telling cross here for Spurs? It's Kevin Prince Boateng's ball in. Defoe shot turned away by Federici. Decent shot, decent save. Spurs close to 2-0. Boateng's cross here, and Defoe's volley draws a very good save from the big Aussie goalkeeper. Stuart Pearce and Fabio Capello. Capello never won a domestic cup as a club manager. Stephen Hunt and Kevin Doyle for Reading. They have been rather short of attacking ideas so far, but here they have a few. Rosinia's cross. Shane Long and Nicky Shaw, who tries to place and places it wide. Steve Coppell, FA Cup winner 31 years ago with Manchester United. O'Hara. He can motor Jamie O'Hara. Kevin Prince Boateng for Tottenham. Boateng with a shot. Wide. Spurs there with a quick, rapid-fire counter. Rosinia. Cox. Crossing chance. Simon Cox with a crossing chance, but a poor cross, if truth be told. Rosinia's throw, a long one for Reading. Turned away. Stephen Hunt, a volley! Hits the crossbar. The closest by a mile Reading have cut. Hunt against the bar, backing by De La Cruz. Good-looking ball, and the header is saved by Cherney. Cherney's first real save, Reading's first real spell of pressure. One against the bar, one well saved. It was Hunt who volleyed here, a great technical volley against the frame. And Cherney then made a good save to keep out the header. O'Hara. We've had one of the 3 minutes of stoppage time. It's with Malbranc. It's wide now for Paul Stalteri. Jamie O'Hara. O'Hara's cross. And here's Robbie Keane. Keane back across goal for Malbranc against the crossbar fire. A very good save from Adam Federici. Keane here with the knockdown for Malbranc, who got a good connection. Really good save there from Federici. Against the bar, Spurs close to 2-0. Stephen Hunt. Bobby Convey. One last chance, maybe Hunt's cross. Khalifa Cisse's header. And Radek Cherney's save. Save was fairly routine. Hunt's cross, Cisse's header. Decent power.
I think the most pleasing factor is this evening is that we kept a clean sheet, you know. See, in the last few games at Reading, there's been a lot of goals conceded by both teams, you know. So it was important for us as a group not give away any goals, and lucky enough for us, we didn't tonight. I think we defended as a team very, very well. From set pieces, we never looked like we were going to concede. I think overall, I think it was a much deserved win.
We changed formation second half, and you know, in the cup style, I suppose, just threw everything at them, and maybe if we'd got a little bit of good fortune, we could have taken it into extra time.
Manchester United, though, fourth round. Can you go there and have a real go at them?
Well, it's FA Cup. It's always a different game, and like everybody will say, we don't have nothing to lose against them away from home. So we're going to try to play our game. Know that how difficult it's going to be, but it's a football game. It's 11 against 11, and I think we can make a big surprise in there.
Phil White posing the questions there, and Tottenham's reward is a fourth round tie at Old Trafford on Sunday week, and that will be one of 3 live ties in the fourth round of the FA Cup sponsored by E.ON. We have 2 on Saturday, Mansfield versus Middlesbrough and Wigan against Chelsea. Well, entertaining fair, not the goals of recent weeks, but the
we were expecting 5-5, just didn't happen, did it? But the big thing, as Robbie Keane quite rightly says, for Tottenham is a clean sheet, and if they're going to be successful in any way, shape or form, they've got to keep getting the clean sheets, and it was good for them. To be fair, the game after 90 minutes could have gone either way, but Tottenham get the plum tie at Old Trafford in the next round.
I mean, Robbie Keane's pretty hot in recent times. He looked pretty hot there. He's steaming up. But, I mean, a lot of talk has been about Berbatov, but Keane's actually scored more goals in that period.
Berbatov is obviously a class player that will command a huge fee, but Robbie Keane, to me, has always been a top-class player. 22 goals last season, 15 this season. I think that technically he's very good and a great goal scorer as well. Maybe just a quarter yard short of being the best you've ever seen, because he is that good. He really is good. And this position where he scores his goal, you've always told me, 8 a season getting in this position.
You're exaggerating a bit, but
5.
At least 5.
You know, this is what you call a predator. It's a great save, but he's in that slot there. And, I mean, he loves Tottenham. You can see the way he plays for Tottenham, that he really loves the club. And you know, it's great to see. Tottenham talk about getting rid of Bent or Defoe or maybe Berbatov going, but the mainstay of that front line is Robbie Keane.
I mean, Reading threatens, especially in the second half. Steve Coppell said he changed things. They had 1 or 2 chances, didn't they?
Well, the closest they got was Hunt, who hit the crossbar. Great effort, fantastic effort. Thrown to the box, he's in that position, 18-yard. It's a great hit. Could easily have gone in.
Got a tough little period.
They have,
and
all of a sudden, they're 2 points clear of relegation, when about 5 or 6 weeks ago we were saying not a problem as far as the Premiership was concerned. Steve Coppell's always played weakened sides in this competition, but they always do relatively well. But obviously his priority is the Premiership. They play Man United next, and then they play Chelsea. All the best.
Nice and easy there. There was an all-championship clash at the Hawthorns tonight between West Brom and Charlton. Tony Gubba was there to see it.
West Brom are the highest scoring team in England. Top scorer Kevin Phillips is rested, but Ismail Miller has got 10 of their 65 in all competitions, including the equaliser that forced tonight's replay after Charlton's former Chinese Footballer of the Year, Zheng Zi, had scored inside 2 minutes at the Valley. To Greening, who does well. Now, can he deliver a good cross? He has! It's a great cross! Oh, and Albion has scored! And that's gone in off Bednar. But how much did he know about it? The initial header was going wide, but he did enough to deflect it into the net. And Albion opened the scoring here. Oh, well, that was headed on. There's a great chance here. And Dean Kiley made that look easy to take it away from McLeod. There was a little flick on which seemed to have put the Charlton player in for what might well have been the equaliser. Leon Barnett. Oh, that run was timed very well by Bednar, and he's not offside. Is this going to be number 2? It's going to be a corner. It was a glorious chance for Albion to increase their lead. Taken short and chipped into the back post. Oh, and headed down and no distance and driven in, but driven wide by James Morrison. And it was Greening who hoisted it up to the back post, cleared by Varney, and driven in by Morrison, but always swerving away from that top corner. Oh, this is McLeod free, and he's got Varney in the middle, and here's a great chance. Oh, they should have equalised. Varney through the middle. Oh, what a miss. And in the last minute of the first half, the added minute, McLeod, who delivered it to him, and his first touch, well, it took it too far ahead of him. Driven in low by Matt Holland, but cleared to Teixeira, who's trying to break away here for Albion, but he's forced to check back, but he's slipped away from Z. And he's got it back again. Oh, it's in at the foot of the post by Morrison. And West Brom take a 2-goal lead. Teixeira doing well to keep possession, and he picked out James Morrison, who steadied himself, and although it looked like Nicky Weaver got a fingertip on it, he couldn't stop it from nestling in the back of the net. Clever back heel. Oh, and a decent strike, which forces a good save from Nicky Weaver, struck by Zoltan Gera. Yuga to Ambrose. Kiley's cleared it with his feet, but he didn't get it anywhere, and Charlton have pulled one back, and it's Darren Ambrose. Kiley clearing it with his feet, but only as far as Darren Ambrose, who immediately played it back into what was an unguarded net. We're into the last few seconds. But this could still slip away. Mutu Akil winding up here for a long throw.
Flicked on by Hiwalumo. Retrieved by Z. And they've got it into the middle. Sam gets it in there, and they have equalised. Oh, you just knew it might happen, and it's Chris Dixon. He's made 3 appearances before tonight as a substitute, and he's come off the bench to get his first Charlton goal, and it's 2-2, and we are heading into extra time. This is Corrin. Nicely into the path of Bednar, who gets it back into the middle. Oh, it's a great save to deny MacDonald. Nicky Weaver to the rescue. Now that might be difficult for the defender, and he's allowed the Charlton player to get goal side of him, and he got the strike in. Oh, and Kiley has saved it, and he's fortunate that nobody was tight in on him to tap in what would have been an easy winning goal. And it's Chris Dixon again who proved stronger there than Pele. Charlton will take the first penalty, and it's Luke Varney who, oh, hits the crossbar. The first miss, the first penalty. Chris Brunt with the chance to put West Brom ahead in this penalty shootout. And he has. After Charlton had missed their first penalty, West Brom lead 1-0. Having got the equaliser that took us to extra time and then penalties, it's Chris Dixon who scores for Charlton. It's 1-1, but they've already missed one penalty. Jonathan Greening to take West Brom's second penalty. It's 1 apiece at the moment, but Charlton have had 1 penalty missed. Oh, and that's saved. It's all square. Nicky Weaver went the right way. Jerome Thomas has come forward to take this third penalty for Charlton. Each team has scored 1 and missed 1, and he puts Charlton in front, 2 penalties to 1. Nicky Weaver to face the third Albion penalty taken by Robert Corrin. Charlton ahead by 2 penalties to 1, and it's level again. It's 2 apiece. Now Zheng Zi for Charlton. It's 2 penalties each. Oh, and he saves it, Dean Kiley, and that gives West Brom an advantage. So it's James Morrison to take the 4th penalty for West Brom. This could put them in front by 3 penalties to 2. And he's blasted it into the top corner, and that's advantage West Brom with 1 penalty left each. If Buhera misses this 5th and final penalty, West Brom are through, and he's very cool, and he just nonchalantly rolls it in. It's 3 penalties apiece. The 5th and final penalty for West Brom that could put them into the 4th round if Ronan Bednar can beat Nicky Weaver. And he has, and it's Albion's night. 4-3 on penalties. They go through to the 4th round, where they'll face League 2 Peterborough.
Tony, exciting for your fans, but how about you?
Well, I didn't particularly enjoy it, to be fair. I don't think we got going for long periods tonight, and yet we found ourselves 2-0 up, and you know, it was a bit Keystone Cops, the goals we conceded tonight. It was you know, poor defending, poor goals we conceded, and you know, they kept plugging away. Great credit to them.
Scratching my head a little bit how we haven't won the game, but it was a cracking game. Some good goals, some great chances. I think you can see both of us have got a great chance this year in terms of promotion. But it was a great cap tie. We were disappointed to lose, but really, on the face of it, there wasn't really a loser tonight. The character we've shown will stand us in good stead, and plus we'll get some rest as well in between our championship campaign.
Yeah, exciting stuff, and the baggies bag a place in the next round, just. That leaves 2 third-round replays. Here they are, starting at Gig Lane, where Bury entertain Norwich.
Bury sacked manager Chris Casper yesterday, and a change at the top seemed to galvanise the League Two strugglers. Midway through the first half, the Norwich defence failed to clear their lines, and Ben Futcher showed impressive speed of thought and quickness of feet for a central defender to shoot the Shakers ahead, stirring stuff for the home fans. And the shock of the night was most definitely on when Norwich's defenders dozed off on the hour, a cardinal sin. Andy Bishop took advantage, and Norwich were sliding out. Bury were always going to need a slice of luck to beat their more illustrious opponents. They got a sliver just there. Lee Croft's shot thundered against the upright. He wandered back out to the wing, probably wondering what more he had to do. He soon got the chance. Croft's cross eventually landed on a plate for Dion Dublin to pull one back. But Bury's caretaker boss Chris Brass saw his players all muck in to hold on to their 2-1 lead. Norwich nearly pinched an equaliser deep in stoppage time, but they came up short in more ways than one. Bury go to Southampton in round 4.
My phone's been a little bit crazy with texts, etc., phone calls. First text that I pick up, Chris Casper saying well done and how proud he is of the players and knew that he'd get a reaction, and I'm a little sad that he's not here to actually enjoy it. In due respect, he probably deserved that.
The first game between these two was the dullest of dull goalless draws, but with Coventry waiting in round 4, Ben May made sure history wasn't about to repeat itself. His first goal in 5 months put the home side ahead. Millwall trailed Walsall by 14 places and 15 points in League One, but their fragile lead looked a little more secure when May played in Gary Alexander to slot home his 6th goal in 5 games. Walsall suddenly decided staying in the cup might be a good idea. Alex Nichols let fly, and a huge deflection left Lenny Pidsley staring at the stars. We almost saw a goal to grace any cup tie. David Brammer provided the cultured cross, Alexander the acrobatics, and Clayton Ince the fingertips. Walsall went for it from everywhere. Adrissa Sonko came the closest, but it's Millwall who make the 4th round for the first time since they reached the final 4 years ago. So watch out.
Roger Johnson and Dan Walker reporting there. With 5 more teams through to the 4th round of the FA Cup, there's just time for a quick look at the draw after beating Walsall. 2004 finalist Millwall are sent to Coventry. Liverpool will face the winner of tomorrow's tie between Swansea and Haventon Waterlooville. Bury's reward for knocking out Norwich is a trip to Southampton, who were runners-up 5 years ago. Tottenham face a trip to Old Trafford to play Manchester United, and Championship leaders West Brom face an awkward game at League Two Peterborough, put 8 past Accrington Stanley tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night with Manchester City against West Ham.
Man City great at home, West Ham starting to play, but another interesting tie obviously with Newcastle, and that seat there will have a Newcastle legend, and I'm sure you'll be asking 1 or 2 interesting questions.
I could well do. Thanks very much. OK, that's it from us on the night that Liverpool's 5 kept Rafa alive. From both of us, good night.